So I just did a video covering the initial Sonic Heroes teams, and that got me thinking. If we are inevitably going to eventually get a Sonic Heroes 2, which I don't think is ever going to happen. It's never going to happen. The most we're going to get for Heroes is the remake, which is rumored to probably be sometime next year for Sonic's 35th anniversary. But this is just hypothetical, all for fun. What if we were to get a Sonic Heroes 2? What would be the team lineup? What would their types be? All that stuff. So today's video is going to be me giving my speculation on the teams and what their types would be, all that sort of stuff. So how many teams do we have for Sonic Heroes 2? I have a total of 10 teams. That's quite a lot, I know. Sonic Heroes initially only had 4. And they were kind of devised into easy, medium, hard, and then stab yourself with a knife. You can figure out which is which. But for this one, I think it's like for modern game, they probably just have easy mode, hard mode, super hard mode, and like the settings and all that. So whatever. But here we go. This is my pitch for the teams for Sonic Heroes and their types and all that sort of stuff. So, of course, obviously, let's get some of the easy ones out the way. We have Team Sonic, which is Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. They stay exactly the same as they were for the initial team. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Then there is Team Dark, Shadow, Omega, and Rouge. They stay exactly the same. They don't need to change one bit. Same with Team Rose, exactly the same. I don't feel a need to change any of these 3 teams whatsoever. I think they are perfectly fine the way they are, and plus it's a little nod to the original Sonic Heroes game, keeping them the same. So, moving on, let's get into the new teams. Oh, of course, how could I forget Chaotix as well? Chaotix stay exactly the same. So we have the initial Sonic Heroes team lineup in the sequel, right? They are exactly the same type, nothing needs to change. They are there because they are grandfathered in, and plus they are established in Sonic lore as being teams. So, moving on now to the new teams. The first one I have is Team Babylonian, which is the Babylonian Rogues. So this is Jet, Storm, and Wave. Yeah, come on. We don't see the Babylon Rogues out in video games outside of anything but the racing games, which is all 3 Riders games. And that's it. They're finally making a reappearance in Sonic Racing Cross Worlds later this year. Pre-order your copy now, not sponsored by Sega at all. And besides the racing games, they don't make an appearance. I mean, sure, mobile games, whatever, but even then, it's only Jet, really, who makes an appearance. And comics, of course, they appeared in the comics. But this would be a nice way to have them appear in a game outside of the racing, and we can explore their kind of like abilities a bit more, I think, in the gameplay element to kind of see what they're like. So, what is their types? This is, I think, pretty straightforward. Jet is going to be speed to, go with Sonic. Wave is going to be flight to go with Tails, and Storm is going to be power to go with Knuckles. That's pretty simple. I'm sure all the Babylonian Rogues can fill in the flight type because they can use their extreme gear, but when fitting each of them into a type, they were made specifically to counter a member of Team Sonic, so it's very easy just putting them in that role for this. So that is the Team Babylonian. The next team I have is Team Hooligan. Fang, Bean, and Bark. Now, we went over in the original video where we went over the original teams for Sonic Heroes. Team Hooligan was actually going to be there. They were going to be an original team in the game. So I figured, since then, they have been more established as being a team. Why not? Let's just bring them in. It's it works with the whole team dynamic. They are an established team, and it's also a nod to the original intention for Sonic Heroes. So Fang, Bean, and Bark, Team Hooligan are here. Their types is going to be Fang is flight, Bean is speed, and then Bark is power. This makes complete and total sense. Fang will be able to fly using the Marvelous Queen. Bark, ain't no way he moving super quick. He's the powerhouse. And then Bean is there because Bean is out of this he's out of his mind. He's out of control. So I think that works for them as their types. And that'll be fun. And then maybe with this, we can finally get voices for the guys. I mean, not Bark, but Bark doesn't need to speak. Bark speaks with his fists, okay? Then we move on to this one. It can happen, but it also couldn't. But I'd love for it to. It's the Diamond Cutters. The new Diamond Cutters to be in the game. This would be the first introduction game-wise of Tangle, Whisper, and Lanolin. This would be Lanolin's first appearance in any game, period, outside of the comics. Tangle and Whisper have appeared in, like, the mobile game Sonic Dash and Sonic Forces Mobile, and Tangle got a mention in Frontiers. So this would be nice to have them be there. Of course, there was a quote last year, I believe. I made a video on this, of Azuka saying that he wouldn't mind, having the comic book characters come to the games, as long as the story was right and, they were introduced properly. So let's do it. Team Diamond Cutters, let's bring them in. Their types would be, I have Tangle as Flight, Lanolin as Speed, and Whisper as Power. Now, this was a hard one to do because Tangle can easily be Speed as well. But I figured that Whisper with Power made a lot more sense with her gun, her Wispin, and all that type of stuff. She can be a more powerhouse in that aspect. Tangle, I made Flight because she is the most energetic of them all, and she could use her tail in a creative way, I feel, to fly. You think it might not happen, but if you know Tangle, she'll find a way to make it work. And then Lanolin as Speed, I had because that was just the only thing left. But, I mean, if you want to mishmash these guys, the argument can be made for Tangle to be Speed as well. Argument could be made for somehow Whisper to be Flight, whatever. Lanolin could be Power. An argument could be made, but this is just what I have right there because I feel like this kind of made the most sense at the moment. And also then, you can get voices for them. That'd be nice. Next up, the name for this team, I don't quite know. I have them down as Team Future, but they're not all from the future. So, this is just a working title name. But Team Future, which is Silver, Blaze, and Marine. So, putting Silver and Blaze together as a team made total sense. We support Sylvaise on this channel. You understand me? But Marine was like, I need a third member. I'm like, oh, Marine. She's like the only other person from Silver's world. From Blaze's world that we know. So, yeah, I guess that made sense. So, I have down Silver as Flight, Blaze as Power, and Marine as Speed. Blaze can also be Speed. But come on, man. She's gonna destroy everything with her pyrokinesis. Let's not beat around the bush here. Silver as Flight made sense. Telekinesis, all that type of stuff. So Marine was then the only logical choice left to be Speed. That's what I got here. I think that works. Maybe a better name. But it'd be nice to have them all together, right? I think that's a good team. That makes some sense as a team. And maybe we can get Marine an official voice now. It'd have to be Australian, of course. But we can get Marine an official voice. Next up, these next final two teams, each of them has two different versions. So I'm going to present both versions, and you guys can decide which one you like better. So the next one I have is Team Eggman. Eggman himself will be having his own team. Well, actually, this is the thing. There is two possibilities for this next spot. There is Team Eggman, and then there is Team Metal. Of course, Team Metal would be representing Eggman. So they are technically both Team Eggman, but they're different. So the first team for Team Eggman is Eggman himself, Sage, and Metal Sonic is the proposition for Team Eggman. So Eggman would be, I have Eggman as Power, Sage as Flight, and Metal Sonic as Speed. Metal Sonic being Speed makes sense. He's the counter to Sonic. Okay. I have Eggman as Power, assuming he's gonna, use maybe his, mech from SA2 or something along those lines to just blow through stuff. And Sage as Flight to me made sense because, she's always floating. So, that's what I was going for. I mean, I could see an argument being made for you swapping Sage and Eggman. I can see that. But that's what I have down for Team Eggman. I think it'd be fun. We would bring Eggman playable again, which he hasn't been since... When was the last time Eggman was playable? Was it SA2? It can't have been SA2. Is it SA2? I'm not counting Racing. I think it was SA2. I think it was. And this would be the first time Sage would be playable, of course. I mean, she's going to be playable in Cross Worlds, but I mean, in a full-on 3D game. I think that'd be fun. And then Team Metal, you can already guess it. It's Metal Sonic, Metal Knuckles. And I was going to do Metal Tails, but I went, no. We cannot do this team without the Tails doll. He sees you. You think the Tails doll is unassuming. He sees all. He knows. He's watching. Always there. Always lurking. Don't turn around. Anyway, obviously, we know their types. Metal Knuckles is power, Metal Sonic speed, and the Tails doll is an all-knowing godlike entity who can do anything, but he decided he would be nice and just be flight for us today. And then the final team, I don't know what to call them. They don't have a team name, but there's two versions of what this team could be. So the team consists of both versions of Mighty and Ray. And then the third member is who I was stuck on. Who can be the third member? So I was thinking about it, because Mighty and Ray are associated with the Chaotix at times, right? Especially in like Knuckles Chaotix and the Archie comics. They're kind of associated with Chaotix. So I'm like, okay, well, is there another chaotic member? No, because Team Chaotix is already there. So who could be their third member? So I initially was like, maybe Classic Sonic? Because they are associated with the classic era. So maybe Classic Sonic, but then I'm like, then that means we have to do another thing where Classic Sonic's brought from the future, and we've done that too many times already, you know? But that is an option to have Mighty, Ray, and Classic Sonic as a team. Of course, if that would be the pairing, Mighty is power, Ray is flight, and Sonic is speed. But then I thought of another one, and this one is a deep cut, and it's probably the one that's not going to happen if a Sonic Heroes 2 happens, and we're looking like, what is the most likely outcome for this team? It's probably this one with Classic Sonic, but I decided to make this one anyway, just because of my Sonic nerd heart, which is Mighty, Ray, and Matilda. It won't happen, but I might as well just present the option to you. So Matilda, for those who don't know, she is Mighty's younger sister in the Archie comics. There's a whole freaking thing with Matilda. She got roboticized. Her emotional like range is very like hindered. She's kind of like, she doesn't show emotion a lot because of how she's grown up. She's like emotionally stunted, disconnected from people, right? She kind of really doesn't care about Mighty, her brother. It's very sad. Maybe we'll do an episode, a video going through Matilda as a character. I think that'd be fun. But I have them here. You could reintroduce Matilda into game canon, you know, just right there, boom, she's there now as Mighty's sister, who's kind of, she's always been there. What the hell are you guys talking about? Or she can just be, this is her first appearance. It's not the weirdest thing to just randomly have a new character show up and people know who they are. Like, oh, it's you, friend. Well, the audience have never met them, but you know, we get exposition in the game, which you can do here with Mighty, Ray, and Matilda. So of course, Mighty's power, Ray's flight, Matilda would be speed. Obviously, Matilda would not be partially roboticized. She would be fully human, well, not human, but fully organic. You know, she would not be part roboticized as she is. And she obviously would not be emotionally stunted. She would, you know, I imagine her to be a lot more happy-go-lucky. Maybe be the calm to Mighty, because Mighty is always usually very angry. So maybe she can be the more like calm one out of the two. I think that would be that. It's not going to happen, but I felt I might as well just present the option to you. And there we go. These are my teams for a hypothetical Sonic Heroes 2. You guys can pick between the final ones for Team Eggman, whether it's Team Eggman, Team Metal. And you guys can maybe help me with a name for the final one with Mighty and Ray, whatever that team is. But yeah, that's my teams. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And do you guys have some teams that you might think of for a Sonic Heroes 2? Let me know in the comments down below as well. And that's going to do it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all next time.